Ireland is going down. But the good thing is the Irish are also waking up. I've got some shocking videos to share with you. So look at this. There are now more Muslims in Ireland than there are traditional Irish speakers. Let that sink in. This is Michael. I think his name is Michael something. Listen to him.
There are now more Muslims in Ireland than there are traditional Irish speakers. And I want to show you this video. This is Islamic centres in Ireland. Graham Linehan said, it's like the game Civilization, where when one side is on the way to achieving the religious victory win condition.
Wow.
This is Ireland. To give you another example of how drastic immigration into Europe is, so people know this isn't normal. There are more immigrants in the city of Berlin, just the city of Berlin, than there are in the whole country of China.
No way. No way.
Berlin than there are in the whole country of China. So the city of Berlin has more immigrants than the whole of China. In Ireland, our foreign-born population sits around 20%. We have 26 counties. That is like giving 5 counties up to foreign populations. And that is continuing to grow unless something is done. Immigration into Europe is way too high. It has to be reversed.
That's a polite way of putting it. Wow, that was pretty shocking. There are more foreigners in Dublin than the entirety of China. And China is no small country. It's the second most populous country in the world. Some would argue it's a business center of the world too, in a way. But how many foreigners go there to get the business sorted for business reasons? That's shocking. Ireland is tiny. Let me formally apologize to all those people who I said that this great mic replacement theory is a conspiracy theory. I don't think it is. Maybe there was no initial plan. I don't know. The more I look into this, the more it makes sense. Maybe this is post hoc rationalization, so there is an element of that, but it's irrelevant, guys. Instead of us saying, hey, you know what, I was right, my conspiracy theory turned out to be wrong, it's irrelevant. What's relevant is that it is happening and the evidence is undeniable. Look at this. Okay, so Ireland Catholic Patriots block Muslim march to historic GPO in Dublin. The Muslims tried a show of force, but brave Irish patriots stood up to them, declaring, this is our Ireland and we shall defend it. You should. Oh, there's no audio. Is there no audio? There's no audio. So there you go. So there's some Muslims that just walking. Why do they do this? Why do you have to do this in a foreign country? Why do people get in their faces? As you can see, these Irish people, these Irish patriots are coming out. And I don't know what they're chanting. And looks like woke Irish are not going to do anything about it. It's the Irish Christians, Catholics. They're going to do it. Look at this. This is Dublin. Jihad in Dublin. Ireland. No, Belfast, Dublin, and Cork. Okay. Muslims spread Islam in public. Oh, I saw a video where Christians were told they can't preach. I don't know where it was. It was a Muslim country. But we allow them to preach.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone.
Oh, no, sorry. No. So you know how Muslims are not allowed to... Sorry. You know how non-Muslims are not allowed to preach Christianity or Hinduism or whatever, any other non-Islamic religion in Muslim countries? There's not a single Muslim country that allows it. I have a video where a Muslim, where a Christian was preaching Christianity to a Muslim man in somewhere in America. And a Muslim man comes in and he says, no, you're not allowed to preach. In America. Hence the point being, all of our Western countries allow this.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. We are here in Ireland, in Cork. We've just traveled from Dublin and then we've traveled from Belfast as well. So we've been to 3 cities already. And because of your support, guys, we've managed to travel through Ireland and give out free copies of the Quran to everyone. So if you guys want to support the da'wah, you can visit justmuslim.org or you can donate via bank transfer as well. If you just write a comment. As you can see here, guys, there are people taking copies of the Quran for free from us today. So as you can see, guys, we are distributing free copies of the Quran to the public. And it was all because of your help. And subhanAllah, may Allah reward the brothers in Ireland, in Dublin, and in Belfast.
So we allow this, yeah? You allow this. You allow them preach. You let them create enclaves. You do everything. Bend over backwards. Everything for them. They're still not happy. Because that's how humanity works, guys. You can give them the sun and the moon and they still won't be happy. Listen to this. A black Muslim woman in Ireland complains that there are too many white people. Everywhere I look in a white country, there are white people. They should go to the moon or Mars.
The first time I heard this figure, I was shocked, but I also really wasn't surprised. Throughout my Irish education, I never had a teacher who looked like me, but I developed the biggest pet peeve for when people decide to blame it on Gaeilge. I can tell you now that Gaeilge is definitely a barrier for people from ethnic minority backgrounds for getting into teaching, but it is not the biggest barrier, in my opinion. Because if it was, there would definitely be more ethnic minorities doing secondary school teaching because there's no Gaeilge requirement there.
I'm assuming Gaeilge is some sort of a system that determines your teaching abilities, capabilities, proficiency. They have to, of course, challenge the existing status quo, whatever that is. Complain about racism, say that you're being marginalized, the system is rigged against us, and the bleeding heart lefties will start bending over backwards.
But the numbers are just as low as they are in primary school teaching. I definitely think one of the issues is representation. The curriculum has only become so diverse in the recent years, and also all of the teachers that children, teenagers are seeing are all white. But also a lot of the treatment of students from ethnic minority backgrounds in education is kind of appalling.
The education is appalling. I think it's going to get even worse if they gave the reins over to you, because again, if your culture was capable of producing successful countries, you wouldn't be here. We have observed this in real time. Okay, it's no longer a philosophical discussion. We don't need to wait for an academic to write his PhD thesis. They will do that in time, probably in about 20 years' time or something. But right now, we're watching this in real time. Inferior cultures create inferior societies. And I don't mean inferior as an insult. Maybe I'm not that eloquent, so I can't find a better word, better descriptor. Maybe, okay, less developed cultures, but then they'll have a problem with that too. Less developed cultures create less developed societies, or a society is a reflection of its culture. There are some societies where they emphasize more on freedom, individual liberties. That's why the West is very unique. The West does not behave like a beehive. It is a very individualistic society, which is the reason why most Westerners, it was only inevitable for Westerners to look the other way, because we are individualistic. Doesn't affect me. My job is fine. I'm paying my bills. Everything's sweet. I'm going to look the other way. But once you catch a disease, once any system is contaminated with a foreign hostile system, like a body getting infected by a disease, I'm not using people, I'm talking about ideas, then sooner or later, the rest of the body is also going to notice. Even though, you got a little bite on your finger, it's going to happen. You're going to notice. You might catch fever. And that's when you say, oh, I need to do something about it. That's exactly what is happening to our societies. Western world created the best civilization known to humanity, period. Anyone who says otherwise, F off, not interested. But there were some clear indicators. Individualism is one of them, which is why a lot of Westerners are still struggling to not treat these people as individuals, because that's in the DNA of the West. We celebrate individual performances, brilliance, rags to riches stories. No clan, no nothing. Clan system, tribalism ended. That gave rise to individual brilliance. You don't see that at scale in other countries. In fact, you see very rarely you see those examples. This is why you see those people, for example, brilliant Indian minds, they come to the West and they explode. They become CEOs and whatnot. They become individually very successful, but it's a challenge for them to succeed in their native country because it's very difficult. Because clan mentality, tribalism, so many hurdles, caste system in India, tribalism in Pakistan and Somalia, Sudan, all of that. So I boil it down to individualism. It's very important. I know free speech is very unique as well, but individualism, and that's why most Westerners are struggling to understand, because the default position is to treat her as an individual, and the system, if she respected the system, she would be an individual, brilliant person, and then she can rise through the ranks to the very top. I'm an example of that. Well, I'm not a multimillionaire CEO, but I've seen so many people who overcome those obstacles, but then they blame the system because this is their tribal mentality. I am black, that's why it's happening. I am non-white, that's why it's happening. No, I don't buy that, because I never had any problem, guys. I've never had any problem in my life. Australia is one of the most racist countries. Our wokes will tell you, our Muslims will tell you. I never experienced racism.
A lot of students from these backgrounds do not want to become teachers because they've had a lot of negative experience with teachers in their life.
Go home!
There's definitely still a lot of unconscious bias from primary school teachers, secondary school teachers, and even in higher education from lecturers.
Go home!
And I definitely will always believe that the diversity of the classroom should definitely reflect in the teaching force. Children should be able to see themselves in their teacher and have...
No. If you're not brilliant enough, no. We've tried that. In America, some white wokes were giving up their jobs to fill their DEI quota. Merit should always be the benchmark.
Relatable experiences. And in order to do this, you need to better the treatment of your migrant /
Bagger off. No. Deport. Deport. But as I said, Irish people are fighting back. Look at this Irish woman going viral. I saw this video on X, but this is Facebook. Have a listen to this. So this woman confronts these loitering men. See how much time they have in their hands? They loiter. I remember seeing lots of Pakistanis loiter as well. They've got nothing to do. They just stand together, and women avoid going there. That's why it's a patriarchal society. So parents don't let their girls go out because they're men loitering. It's a very foreign idea to Westerners. Women are free to walk. Not anymore, though. So this brave woman, Irish woman, stands up because, of course, all these societies have been turned upside down. Their values have been taken away, shattered overnight.
Standing around wasting the taxpayers' money.
What? I am in this country. I do whatever I want. Who are you, you white woman? This is our country now. This is the attitude. If we had our government on our side, if I was the dictator of my country, I would send big men in their riot gears, grab them. What the hell did you say? First of all, don't say that. You're a guest in this country. Do not talk down to any citizen. Okay, that's number one. You disrespect my citizen, you're out. That's how low the bar has to be.
You mind your business. You mind your business.
It ended up, okay, I saw a longer clip. She walked off, and those other people, they pulled him aside. He was brave. Look at this Irish woman giving a speech. This woman is saying that her child is one of 30 children in a class and she's the only Irish child. This is happening on a scale, and they're creeping up. They're speeding up. It's happening in Australia too. You had Boris wave in the UK. They did pretty well. I've realized Boris Johnson was a Tory, but he was a Fabian. He believes in diluting national local cultures with one global culture. He viewed himself as a global citizen. And our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has just been awarded the Global Citizen of the Year award or something. They're doing that. They're doing that on our watch in real time, and they're gaining pace.
I'm from Dublin, but I come to Mayo every weekend. But I wanted to talk about what the situation is like where I live, because you have not seen what is coming yet, and I have. Where I live is about 85% foreign nationals. I can walk down the street on any given day, walk into the supermarket, and I don't hear an Irish conversation. I hear foreign people everywhere. My child is one of 30 children in her class, and she's the only Irish child. She came home crying from school a few weeks ago because she doesn't understand what any of her friends are saying. The children revert back to their own languages when they're not being taught. She literally cannot understand the conversations around her. But when Halloween came around there a few months ago, last year she was allowed to dress up. Sorry, the year before last she was allowed to dress up. This year she wasn't allowed to dress up. And when I asked the school why, they said they didn't want to offend people. But I don't go for a walk around the park during the day with my child anymore. I have a big dog and I don't go for a walk by myself anymore. I very rarely leave my house because where I live is so unsafe. And that is the reality that you're facing if you don't make a stand. And I understand it's really, really hard to, be called names and all of these things. But you have to stand up on behalf of your children and the future of the country. The landscape of this country is changing completely. And if you're okay with that, fine, but I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that for my child. Please put your children first and your country first, and just don't care what anyone else thinks.
I know I've always said that because I got interested in UK politics because I've always said that, oh my God, UK is going to be a flashpoint. It's going to be the battlefield. It's going to be the ground zero where all of this kicks off. But from time to time, I have seen certain snippets from Ireland. They've burned down hotels. Not recommending that. I'm just a commentator. I'm observing, and I'm looking at it from an Australian perspective, because I have a duty of care to educate my people. So we're going to see this. The first map that Michael showed, it's like giving up, I don't know, it's like 40% of your country giving it up to someone else. It's going to happen. There'll be a separatist movement at some point. Islam doesn't take any hostages. So we're reaching towards that point where Irish people will gather their forces in certain areas, and then I don't know how that's going to go. Listen to these people. While all of this is happening, they're being provoked on a daily basis. And Imam in Ireland, this is not in Britain, this is in Ireland, it tells his congregation to murder non-Muslims. Allah commands Muslims to kill Christians and Jews. Oh my goodness. They say that? No why should they? Our governments have sold us out. Our governments have allowed this. They've bred this culture. You'd think that they'd be afraid. If Hitler had that many agents in the UK, Ireland, France, and all these other countries pre-war, he would have told them to remain silent assassin, clandestine operations. He would not have dreamed of saying the kind of things that these imams are allowed to say.
In the Quran, chapter number 9, verse number 29, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the Muslims to kill the Christians, Jews, and if they do not surrender, then they have to pay jizya. Jizya is basically
a protection test, poll text. In the Quran 9:29, I've quoted this verse so many times, and it's a call to arms. Listen to this one. Listen to this one. This is Ireland again. Women don't know the value. So when they're not going after the infidels, they're going after their women. This is why Muhammad said that the majority of inhabitants of hell are women. And the women said, why? He gaslit them. He said, because you don't value your men, your husbands.
بما أن نعيش في العالم الغربي تظن المرأة بأن الرجل مساوي لها ويجب أن كما يكلمها تكلمه وكما يعطيها تعطي له. في الإسلام الرجل سيد المرأة والمرأة تطيع الرجل فيما.
True. In Islam, the man is the master in the relationship.
فيما يرضي الله سبحانه وتعالى. فالله سماها بعولتهن في القرآن الكريم والبعل هو السيد. فالرجل هو سيد.
This is coming. All you woke, lunatic, purple-haired, nose-ring-wearing lunatics, you may hate Western patriarchy and the white man all you want. Once these guys take care of Western patriarchy and Western world order, this is going to be your future.
You
know what he's talking about. Yeah, just telling you. We've told you this so many times before. It's so stupid to think that it's not going to happen to you. So it's happening, guys. It's happening everywhere. Ireland is... I think things could heat up in Ireland before they heat up in England, because England or Britain is a lot bigger. But it's going to happen. Things can't go on like this. And the status quo will try to maintain the status quo by gaslighting the natives. But there will come a tipping point. Self-preservation is the most powerful force on earth. In living beings, it's the most powerful force, self-preservation. We just have to wait for it to kick in. It's going to kick in at some point at a societal level. Individually, it's happened to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people. But self-preservation, the instinct of self-preservation at a societal level is coming soon. It's going to kick in any day, any month, any day, any year. Before 2030 runs out, we're gonna see a massive upheaval in some Western country. It's gonna happen.